impact kills in this particular game.
Well, quick bans already coming through. Elise, Kennen, Kassadin taking out Fizz, Zed, and Shen. Like, no, Bjergsen, no. But they have let him have Diana. We'll see whether that works out. Jarvan instant lock, though. Maluna's going to be happy with that one.
So remember that Diana was picked very, very late in the picks and bans phase, and it was something that NiP used to maybe counter the picks that were coming out of SK Gaming. So for this particular matchup, we'll see how that pans out. I think that maybe Thresh is going to be a priority here for either of these teams. We know Deficio likes to play, as does Yellow Star. If not, maybe Zyra support for NiP.
Currently, Zach pondered. Not too sure that's going to be SOAS. I think it may be Cyanide. We'll see. That is going to be Thresh for Yellow Star. So sticking with fairly standard picks. Not throwing anything crazy out there right now.
Caitlyn or Vayne might be an AD carry that they might want to consider here and leave their solo lane picks till later. What could also be selected is the Yorick and some sort of hyper carry for Bjergsen. Yeah.
Vayne?
Yeah, Caitlyn Vayne was the highlight that I think they may consider. Twitch, another AD carry that we've been seeing. Yeah.
Twitch has been very successful. Didn't work out for Candy Panda in the last match, though. So Fnatic, what will they go with? Not going to be Heimerdinger, that's for sure.
So the one thing that NiP are holding on to right now is their solo lane picks and who they're going to be matching up with. And not being 100% sure whether that's going to be a SOAS Zac top lane or a Cyanide Zac jungle also leaves things open to interpretation. We could even see Cyanide playing Lee Sin, which he's done particularly well in the last game or two.
We're waiting to see which way. Twisted Fate's still open as well. Let's not forget that. Worked out very well for Peke against Meteor Makers earlier on today. Just, can you believe that was earlier on today? It's been such a long day.
This will be the longest day, I believe.
It's going to be a long one. Well, it's going to rival the spring promos, maybe. It's definitely going to be 12 games today, that's for sure. So it's definitely stepping it up to the official American Super Week. I guess they're just going to be challenging it. At the moment, though, Lee Sin worked very well in the past for many, many teams, and Cyanide's going to get it again. There is the Varus for Pushu.
So that definitely signals that's going to be a top lane Zac. You've got a nice beefy front line with that Zac, with that Lee Sin. Some very good, clear initiation power. And the one thing that they are leaving open is for Peke to counter pick. Now, the Rengar pick, I'm not 100% sold. However, it is one of Mimer's most played champions in solo queue and one of his most successful champions. It could work, especially if you combo that with the stealth of Twitch. It could be a pretty scary stealth, jump on your face and blow you up combo.
Well, it is going to switch. It is going to be Yorick, and that's a champion that Mimer has played a lot of. So this time around, though, no Ninja for Bjergsen in the mid lane. He's simply going with Ahri.
It's a little more difficult to kill your enemies and completely destroy them with Ahri than it is with Diana, and that even more so than Zed. So we're seeing the same composition from NiP. A team that can deal with 4v4s, can deal with 4v5s, with the Zyra, with the Jarvan, with the Yorick, and in team fights when Bjergsen is not split pushing and with them, you just throw the Omen of Death at him, let him come back and just carry on tearing people apart.
And almost becoming a standard matchup, an Ahri versus Orianna. If this gets locked in by Peke, it's kind of the standard. It's not a counter, but it's just what always happens. If you see an Ahri come out, you go for an Orianna. If you see an Orianna come out, Ahri comes out. Although sometimes when Ahri comes out, Zed follows.
Yeah, it's something that it can work very, very well. And as you were talking about, with Twisted Fate open and available, Peke is going to pick that one up. He did very well with it earlier in the day, you know, picking the inhibitors and pretty much saying, look, you either fight us at Baron or I'm going to go backdoor 2 inhibitors, and he managed to pick that up multiple times. So I really like Fnatic's composition here. It's sort of comfort picks in a way, not necessarily something you'd associate with all of Fnatic, but it's things they've played and done well with in the past.
So there are the champions select, and what do we see here? Let's have a look across the lanes. We know what Peke, we know what to expect from Peke, we know what to expect from Maluna and Cyanide, to be honest, but what I don't know is what to expect is SOAS with Zac up against Yorick.
That's going to probably be another farming lane because of the fact that both of them have got some built-in sustain, and it's very difficult for them to kill one another as they do both build very tanky. I think without jungle assistance, that's going to be a pretty laid-back lane as we're going on a bit of a spiral.
Did the cameraman just pass out then as well? It was like he was doing. He was like, oh, I'm down. That's done. I think everybody watching it may well have just followed through with the pizzas they'd ordered already.
And we'll have to see how well NiP can hold out. Yeah, it's been a long, strenuous day for absolutely everybody. And this is the first of potentially 2 games for each of these teams. Because, of course, the winners from both of the sides of the bracket will play each other, and the losers will play each other. And right now, Fnatic, they're on that red side, and they'll have to deal with that positional... I don't even want to call it disadvantage, because it's not anymore. The game's super, super balanced and even.
And let's talk about what this means for them. It is a battle to get second place. That's really what they're aiming for, a battle for who will play who. Of course, second place is the big important spot, because that is a bye. So they will be through to the semi-finals at the playoffs. That's what they want, and almost certainly, again, pretty much a tippy toe into the door of Season 4. Not so much Season 4, the World Championships, more importantly, because the top 3 places will make it there. So once you're in the semi-finals, you're already almost in the World Final.
So there's 2 things to remember about this. Win 2 games, and you guarantee yourself second if you win them back-to-back. And if you win a game, you guarantee a 2nd or 3rd place seed going into the bracket. So we'll see how well either of these teams performs, because this is the first of 5 more games in the 2nd to 5th tiebreaker scenario. And right now, NiP, they just want to survive the laning phase and get to a point where Bjergsen can split push. That is their #1 objective and priority. They've done it a few times already today. And the question is, can they do it again?
2 of these teams, not so much, might not be NiP or Fnatic, but 2 of these teams, 2 of these 4, will be playing 3 more games tonight. So it could be a long one, ladies and gentlemen. Peke, with that yellow card pulled already, was looking to go for that early invade. Did Freeze spot them? He did ping it. Yes, he did. He saw them, gave them coverage. Are Ninjas in Pajamas going to react? Are they going to go straight for ward invasion? Yes, it will. Deficio feeling brave, feeling like he's going to step in towards the Fnatic jungle, while Fnatic, they want to go for that late invade. They want to get towards that red buff.
At this point in time, the fact that this game, seeding is at stake and that all-important 2nd place, but on the same token, these teams are not going to be feeling the same amount of pressure that was on them earlier in the day. So we're going to see a little bit more, maybe even opportunistic plays, as you can afford to get away with it. You can afford to make those plays. Fnatic with a couple of wards in their back pocket, just going to invade, get some deep vision down, walk over a Jarvan flag and get spotted. So NiP are well aware of Fnatic's position.
Yeah, the pick was up there, right on their spot. They've not gained any vision of them. They just simply getting their spider senses. Looks like Fnatic will back away from this one. Ninjas in Pajamas, they're ready and waiting to go in towards their. Deficio is going to use his plants to gain vision. Let's see which way he pokes it, tries to draw them out. Look at this, it's just simply bait, Freeze, walks straight in there. He does put a ward around the backside. Now they realize it is safe ground. So let's look at lanes. We're going to have Mimir and Soaz. They're going to have a 1v1. It's something that Soaz loves to have. We'll see how it works out for him. Mimir in 1v1s has not worked out terribly well on Yorick so far.
To be very fair, it has gotten better. So as the weekend's gone on and as more games have been played, Mimir has been improving. And Yorick in particular, his first game wasn't good. Second game a little better. Third game, and we'll see how this one matches out. His yellow star's gone super low from that expunge.
Yeah, got built up pretty heavily, and that expunge doing a big burst of damage there from Freeze. However, it was Pushu that was picking up the farm at the back, and Freeze only got that 1 CS. So despite the fact that Yellow Star took the damage, there wasn't actually an advantage built up. Freeze, meanwhile, will continue to clear out and get those minions back down there. Cyanide, he's on the red buff. He's going to be taking that one down nice and easy. Maluno, he's got himself that double buffed up as well, already taking the blue, not looking for any invades. The junglers just clearing their paths right now.
Yeah, and until both junglers have got double buffs picked up and secured, I don't expect to see any sort of ganks or setups happening. I think that with both Jarvan and Lee Sin having very strong low-level ganks, the most likely lane is going to be mid or top to try and get their carries in a good position.
Oh, we saw Maluno try and slide into that mid, but he is still on top of a ward, so Peke just sidesteps out of that charm coming through. Cyanide is ready and waiting. He's going to be doing raids just off the side. They may choose to go aggressive here on Maluno, but I feel that Peke just wants to farm right now.
Yeah, at this point in time, again, not being level 6 for Bjergsen's Ahri, it is a little more difficult to guarantee these kills. Peke is well aware of Maluno's position, and you can see Cyanide coming in. The knockup lands.
Does manage to land the knockup. Charm, oh, very close. They may turn this one back around on Maluno. He's going to get taken down. Yes, he is. The Ignite comes in. It's first blood Cyanide.
It's not over yet.
Third stun card comes in. It's going to be Bjergsen, but he's going to get Lee Syndrome. Pulls in there. He manages to take the tower hit. Peke flash for it as well. And why the hell not? He got himself a second kill.
Double kill to start the game off for Fnatic, but more importantly than just the kills, Cyanide gets a refresh on both his blue and his red buffs. So at 4 minutes on the clock, he gets an extended time frame on all of that extra damage and cooldown reduction from both of those buffs in his back pocket. So a very good, strong start, especially on a jungler like Lee Sin who can snowball and get into a power position very quickly.
And seemingly a strong start from SOAS in this top lane as well. He's bullied Mima, pushed him back onto that lane. Mima, of course, battling for mana, going to try and chase him with those ghouls, try and push him towards SOAS. SOAS was looking to back off, and he will go back and buy. Started off with the Doran's shield, both of them in the top lane. This bottom lane, though, what is going on here? It is a massive advantage for Freeze, really pulling ahead in the CS.
Yeah, at this point in time, thanks to all of that damage Yellowstar took early, Yellowstar's not able to zone. He's not able to use all of that on-hit damage from his Flay onto either Freeze or Deficio, and he is actually outranged by Deficio as well. So at any point he wants to step forward and try to get some auto attacks down, Deficio is just going to use that Zyra and just lob out long-range auto attacks. So it's a good position for them, but they need to maintain that applied damage in order to keep that CS advantage.
Look at the advantage, what Peke went for. He went for the very start item of a Sheen. He wants to get that burst damage, wants to try and critical hit on Bjergsen, try and do some of that burst damage. Doran's, double Doran's rings picked up by Bjergsen though.
So one of the things that we've been seeing out of Twisted Fate players all weekend long is Boots of Swiftness, followed by Lichbane, and then some form of ability power item. And with the changes to pick a card, it's much more important to get in range at a quicker time frame. As you can see, gold card's locked, and it times out significantly sooner. So you can no longer zone enemies for quite as long.
Freeze back in the mid. Went back to get himself out of Vampiric's Scepter. Double Doran's, meanwhile, was picked up by a push shoot. And you can see, zoned out right now by Ninjas in Pyjamas. They're coming back into that lane. You'll see them try and fight their way back into it, but the battle between the two continues to rage. Freeze still continuing to make sure he sidesteps, just dodges out of that hook from Yellowstar. Meanwhile, the plants did go on towards Yellowstar, putting some damage down. We see Maluno is sneaking in. There is not a ward in that bush at the moment. He's got himself in here without being seen. Pushu's going to get caught out. There's the Dragon stance knock up. Not going to be enough. Flashes were burned from both in the bottom lane, though. So that means Maluno, he's going to be making a follow-up call in a moment. Yeah, in order for Ninjas in Pyjamas to make up this difference, they need to get kills as soon as possible because Peke is level 6. So the threat of a Destiny gank onto this, extended Freeze and Deficio lane is very, very present and definitely something that they need to be aware of. So they have backed off. I tell a lie, only one of them's backed off. Yellowstar backs off. Now Wizzy and Pushy backing off, so he's actually going to go back and buy. See what he picks up here. 50 CS meanwhile for Peke. Peke is backing off as well, so he's going to get himself, he's already got the boots on there actually, along with that. Sheen gets himself the Mercury Treads actually, wants to make sure he gets out of that charm quicker from Bjergsen. Meanwhile, SOAS, he came back to the lane, only got himself a Ruby Crystal, so continuing to save up, I believe. Meanwhile, Tira the Goddess was picked up by Mama.
In terms of the item purchases and the fact that Destiny is available, Peke with Destiny and Exhaust is moving towards the top lane, so he may want to jump on top of Mima. SOAS has Let's Bounce and Ignite, and if they combo it all together, this could be scary. Gold card was primed. Destiny's going to come down in a second, and here comes Peke.
There he goes, catches on towards Mima. Immediately, Slingshot not going to catch on towards him. Let's Bounce, flash by Mima. Exhaust is going to be enough to slow him down. Tries to pop his ghouls down, but it is not enough to save his life, and Peke picks up the kill.
So Mima did manage to flash the bounce, but was instantly followed by SOAS, as well as that exhaust coming down from Peke. So, first use of Destiny, secures Peke another kill, another one notched up on his Twisted Fate belt, as Freeze and Deficio are dealing with that extended farm. Now, thanks to Mima going down, this should be a fairly safe invade and steal on Ninjas in Pyjamas blue buff.
Maluno coming round, he's going to be too late. He may actually get caught out. Cyanide chases on. No, slides away from this one. Bjergsen's not going to have blue when he needs it.
Yeah, and Cyanide decided not to chase that kill even after landing the Sonic Wave. He wasn't 100% convinced they could get the kill, so wisely backs away. And as you always see with those steals, when it's at risk of being secured by NiP, just smite it down and give your own blue buff to your opponents, or to your mid laner, which you'll see Peke and Cyanide securing in a moment or two.
Well, they're going to have to go across there. I'm not too sure whether it's up. I'm sure Maluno had the blue buff on him back there. Well, I see the icon, but I'm still not sure whether that's just simply the ghouls. He has got a blue icon on him, but it's not actually there. It's a graphical bug.
Yeah, it is just a graphical bug at this time frame. The blue buff has spawned up. It was up fairly recently, and Maluno is there in range to actually challenge for this one. He only has red buff right now. There's no smite available. Bjergsen is hanging around on the side, so they want to pick a fight, and with Deficio and Freeze coming to challenge, Maluno actually picks up that blue buff. not ideal.
Yeah, he was zoning out Peke. Peke was sort of like walking towards him like, no, no, no. There is definitely someone in this bush. I can't come towards you, Cyanide. Gonna have to be left alone. The charm lands. Is it gonna be enough to turn it around? Uses the Spirit Rush. Ignite going down. One more hit should do it. There it is. Bjergsen gets the kill.
And he was forced to flash for a very good gold card, but it's not over as Cyanide wants Bjergsen.
Cyanide catches on towards him. He's got that red buff on as well. It's gonna be doing that extra damage. There it is. The kick to the head.
Roundhouse kick in Bruce Lee style to secure himself yet another kill. 2-0-1 on that Lee Sin. Boots of mobility completed, so he's looking to gank and he's looking to control lanes, and also he's looking to control Bjergsen. If Bjergsen cannot split push and cannot duel and challenge anybody, then that means Fnatic are in a much better position to try and win this game.
Freeze is looking to get the grasping root and push you. There's the Dark Passage thrown out. Wasn't required. Simply puts the shield down. He's going to work this one out. Look at the difference, though. 85 CS to Freeze right now to 49 of Pushu. Huge advantage being built in this bottom lane.
And it's all going to be on Freeze when we get to these mid-game team fights, because if Freeze is able to convert that gold into an item advantage, and more importantly, make that item advantage win team fights, that is where the carry power is going to come from NiP. It also means that Mimer's focus for that Omen of Death should now be on Freeze's Twitch, as opposed to Bjergsen's Ahri.
So as the games continue, don't forget, guys, if you've just tuned in and thinking, why is NiP and Fnatic on? Well, it's because we had a four-way tie at second place, which means there is a rather large playoff tiebreak going on right now. There will be another 4 games following this one. This is the first, I tell a lie, it's another 5 games. No, 4 games following this one.
4 games. You
I
played
am
one
right.
already.
Punch drunk already. So SK are out of the playoffs. They haven't made it to Gamescom. They will not be having a chance to make it to the World Finals, which is unbelievable because they got there last year around. It's another team, it's the second team we've heard of that haven't made it. And I think back to, obviously, NA, there's a couple of teams that still could get there that made it. But more importantly, Taipei Assassins are not even going to be there either. Southeast Asian qualifiers, by the way, the regional qualifiers will actually finalize tomorrow, so we'll know. They'll be the first teams that we'll know will be making it to the World Finals.
Yeah, and make sure you actually check that stream out to see who is the European and North American teams going to be competing against, because right now, NiP and Fnatic are fighting for seeding to qualify for that very, very playoff. Maluna's been hanging out here on the side for a little while. He doesn't have any buffs, even though those little circles think that he is, and Pekka's Charm.
Charm comes in, Cataclysm follows. We do see Cyanide diving in. Has he got the damage to try and turn this one back around? Kicks him in beautifully. Peke tries to linger in the wings, uses that Destiny, gets the stun card on Maluna, but he takes a tower hit. It's a double kill for Cyanide, but it's a mistake judgment by Peke. He went just a little bit too deep on the Destiny.
Crepo said it earlier today, if you are playing against Assassins, pick Exhaust. Peke knows this. Peke plays Assassins, and he was able to exhaust all of Ahri's damage inside that Cataclysm. So even though it looked fantastic for NiP landing everything, there was no damage coming out because it all been mitigated by that Summoner spell. Soaz has less bounce and Ignite available, and he may be thinking about this one, relying on that Cell Division to try to keep himself sustained.
See if he can bounce his passive through this one. There is the aggression, but Mimer tries to turn it around. Mimer hasn't got a great deal of mana here, though, so Soaz is trying to bait him away from the minions. He's got a good wave there as well. Siege minion would be doing work. Lich Bane already picked up by Peke. He got those Mercury Treads earlier on, so he's going to be doing extortionate amounts of damage, and remember, as Peke always does, we'll be pushing those turrets.
I want to see how and where Mimer builds this Chalice of Harmony, because not only is he behind in CS, and not only has he struggled all weekend long, this item clearly signifies I need to stay in lane, I need to split push, and I need to have power available at all times. If he completes that into the likes of a Mikhail's Crucible, he's even more of a support utility player in this matchup, because he can, you know, cleanse the gold card, he can heal one of his carries, and basically just try to keep them alive for longer before needing to use that ultimate.
And I'm interested to see which way Soaz goes, because he used to say, this was back in the spring, when you're ahead on Zac, you just go ability power, magic penetration, you go aggressive. When you're behind, you go tanky. Which way will he head this one?
Well, he's got the makings of potentially a Sunfire Cape and potentially Haunting. Guys, as Yellowstar's caught.
Stranglethorn's in there, that's forced to flash away, and that was a spray and pray that followed it up as well. Yellowstar takes a lot of the damage, but that's 2 ultimates burnt from Ninjas in Pajamas for 1 summoner spell.
The thing is, those ultimates will become available before that flashes, so if, once again, they can make it stick, it can work out. Bjergsen was able to pick up his blue buff, and that's the first blue buff for Bjergsen in a little while, probably the last 2 spawns at the very least. And the one thing I do want to highlight is even though Mima has got so much more HP than Soaz, he's still unable to kill him because he simply doesn't have the damage or crowd control to stick to Soaz and Zac, who can just slingshot to safety.
Well, Freeze is backing off. I believe the BF sword will be coming out here, so the damage potential. Nope, tell a lie. He's going for Build Roll. Cut this to
Blade of the Rune King.
Blade of the Rune King. Not going to go for the IE or Bloodthirst up first up on Freeze. On the Rat, sorry. 14 minutes gone so far, Trevor. Not even a hint, not even a whiff of Dragon.
Not this time round, and I think it's because both teams are a little bit afraid of it. They don't want to run into the Baron Pit with an assassin like Bjergsen, nor do they want Spray and Pray to come up. However, knowing that Bjergsen's just backed off, and knowing that Pushu's got all of his ultimates available, and Destiny, which is very, very important, they may be able to challenge for it right now. The thing is, all of Fnatic are probably going to come down. As you can see, Soaz is already moving towards the Dragon Pit. Mima is a year and a half away.
Well, it will be a BF sword for Pushu. He wants that Bloodthirster first, and he's going to be coming down. So power advantage may well be here with him briefly, and you see Fnatic now zoning out completely here. Actually, Soaz is going down straight on towards Freeze. Teleport comes out, Destiny is in there. They want to get on Freeze. They throw out the stun, the wild cards. He's actually invisible still. They're going to bounce all around him. They're just finding the proximity. Catch on in there. Peke gets the kill.
Yeah, Peke was able to see through the invisibility thanks to that Destiny
yep.
and just land the gold card. Let Soaz tear him apart. So they secure the Dragon. They pick up their 7th kill of the game, and NiP are trying to respond with the mid and top towers, but they simply don't have the damage at this stage in the game.
They tried to get the mid one down, but it looks like the bottom one may fall to them, to Fnatic. Peke with that Lich Bane, with Yellow Star's support, should be able to take this one down. Top one though, Mima. He's doing good work up there. He hasn't got enough though, and he won't take it this time around.
Ironically, even with the Tear and the Chalice, he's still running out of mana. That tells you how hard he is pressing in this lane. Every single time a Ghoul is available, he's spamming that one out. Now, Cyanide's trying to get his red buff, but he had no idea what was going on. There was no vision in that bush, and he didn't see any minions moving around. So, another steal coming out of Maluno, and pretty good conscientious map awareness for that one.
Actually, Bjergsen and Peke keep it even in terms of CS. So I was about to step onto Mima, but he teleports, recalls back just in the right time. Let's have a look towards this mid lane. Tower did take a lot of damage. There's the charm, but look at this. Cyanide gets locked on towards him. The stun card comes through. Bjergsen has got Spirit Rush. Cyanide wants to land that kick. Can he draw him in? No. Flash comes out from Peke. Didn't manage to get the last wild card.
No, not this time round, and Bjergsen was able to at least tank up that Sonic Wave, so there was no execution from Cyanide. With Soaz hanging out on the side, did you see the Demacian standard flag going down, revealing him? And another tower is picked up for Fnatic. Ninjas in Pajamas are floundering a little bit. They're not really in this. They're not at the right positions. They're not defending anything, really.
And the problem is they don't seem to be having that pressure from Mima. They don't care about him in that top lane right now. Soaz is going back up there, has full control, got himself that Sunfire Cape, and he's just going to keep back on pushing. Mima tried to take that turret down. And like you said, with all the will in the world, with all the mana burn, he just couldn't take it down. Soaz is just going to stroll away from those goals again.
Finally, Mima's got some additional attack damage, up to 160 with that mana immune completed, and it is stacking relatively quickly. It's about halfway done already. This will allow him to finish off the tower because Yorick's ghouls stack on attack damage, but he has a Destiny onto Mima.
Onto Mima, tries to go in the tower. There's the Let's Bounce. It's going to be Peke that takes a little bit of tankiness on the tower. Tell a lie. Soaz takes all of the damage. Peke throws out the one last card and just decimates Mima.
Now Mima's trying to chase Peke, not realizing he can maybe get some movement speed of Soaz if his Omen of War was available, and unfortunately, Flash and Ignite burned. And I have to highlight just how good Soaz was at that gank. He flashed in front of Mima to use Let's Bounce to knock him backwards and just get even more time for Peke to deal damage. With the two members of NiP up top and the numbers in the bottom, they may be able to get towers if they can stick around for long enough.
Peke hasn't backed off, Soaz is still there. They're going to hold out this one. The charm thrown out, not going to find his target. Bjergsen takes a tower hit for his presence as well. The bottom lane also, they will continue to try and push, but Pushu has that Bloodthirster now. He's going to be wiping out those waves very quickly with that piercing arrow, the hail of arrows. It's all doing work right now, and it's actually keeping Freeze at bay. Top turret will finally go down. The minions will do that job. That's the first one of the game for NiP, but they're still one behind.
Yeah, Ninjas in Pajamas right now, they know the Destiny's down, which is why they were pushing the top lane and pushing the bottom. In addition to that, the HP bars for Soaz and Peke were very, very low, so it gave them a bit of safety in that regard. The one thing I do really want to highlight right now, there is still no major item completed for Bjergsen. He's still trying to complete his Deathfire Grasp, whereas Peke needed to see Large Rod, cages like a pick, as well as a Lich Bane, and the makings of the Twin Shadows.
So let's take stacks. We could take stack.
Take stack of the stocks.
Take stack of the stocks.
In a sticky situation.
It is a sticky situation. Cyanid's actually coming in. He wants to try and get the steal on the blue. Looks towards getting on towards Bjergsen. Doesn't manage to find it. But he has bought time for Fnatic to push down the mid lane. And it'll be a little out of position here. Are they going to try and take advantage? They don't really have the vision of the situation.
I kind of feel like Ninjas in Pyjamas positioning and gameplay throughout this particular game just tells you they're not necessarily mentally quite on the same page. They're not reading Fnatic as well. They're responding late to the pushes from Fnatic, and as it stands, they're falling behind in every single metric here. They're behind on farm, behind on kills, behind on towers. Dragon should be up in the not too distant future, and if NiP don't contest and maybe secure that, this gold is gonna just get once again uncontrollable, like we've seen with Ultimate and SK in the previous game.
So Soaz clears out the top turret, and like you say, it is pushing them every angle, every advantage they can have. The gold stacking up on Peke there. Must be loving it when you wipe out those waves and you get all those passives sticking in your direction. Just a constant gold ticking message for you. Bjergsen, he has the rest of Ninjas in Pyjamas coming up behind him. Looks like they're finally deciding to group up and maybe put pressure on this mid turret.
So in terms of total gold that Pick has actually earned, it's sitting at 700 right now. It's just short of the Cage's lucky pick. So he's invested his bonus gold into earning more bonus gold. Now look at Soaz's position in the Wraith camp. He could charge up that slingshot at any time, and I think NiP realized they had no vision on their opponents. There's no jungle wards really on the side of Fnatic's map for NiP, so they backed away safe.
And Soaz isn't stepping off this one just yet. Well, if Peke wants to join the party, that tower though with nothing, it could wilt under a unpleasant look. Soaz though, look at this. Ready to go. Is he going to come from the side? Let's bounce. Would work perfectly. Pushu is not there, but Elastic Slingshot will be. Let's bounce on towards Bjergsen. He's the focus target. Can they get on towards him? Stranglethorns does manage to keep Soaz at bay. Freeze is going to get knocked down. He's going to get revived by the ghost of death, whatever the hell it's called by Mima. It doesn't matter. They're going to try and lock on towards Yellow Star. Fnatic coming back around the corner though. They lock on one. Maluno's going to get dropped into double kill for Soaz. They're going to catch on Pushu on towards Mima. This is going to be a massacre. It's Fnatic in full control. And that's a 4-4-1 engagement. Fnatic doing work.
And that was a 4 versus 5.5. Not only was Pushu not there until the end of the fight, but they used the Omen of Death on Freeze to try bring him back to life. Now Pushu has got his Bloodthirster up, and with Dragon respawning, somebody's going to tank Dragon, and he's just going to lifesteal his way back up to full HP.
Soaz comes in after picking himself up a bunch of kills, and talked about it. Mima wasn't doing much in that top lane. Hasn't worked out. I've not been impressed with Yorick all weekend for him on that top lane. It just doesn't seem like an impactful champion that he's using. Soaz, he's just been in complete control. He's now 2-0-5. Soaz has been struggling this weekend, but he looks like he's in a happy place right now.
Yeah, the last time we actually seen Soaz earlier on the weekend is now Peke's caught.
Peke's caught, but he manages to get away from that one. Tries to pop the exhaust down. Is it going to be enough? Doesn't have any mana. Does throw out the stun card, but look at this. Cyanide's going to come in around the corner. He's buying himself time. Doesn't need it. The Lich Bane does the job for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you are dealing with an assassin, and when you are dealing with an assassin as good as Bjergsen, pick exhaust. That is the #1 rule. You've seen how much damage Bjergsen put onto Peke before the exhaust got down. And if you look at the player cams, Peke and Cyanide are all grins and smiles and giggles after that last engagement.
Yeah, I think Cyanide got the assist from that as well. He got the safeguard. I'm not too sure whether it was quite in the right time. He was coming in and it's like, I've got you covered, I've got you covered. It's okay. It's okay. Don't need you. Don't need me. Okay. You got this one. Nevertheless, he is cleaning out, picking up the red buff. The blue buff isn't available, I don't think. I'm trying to see whether actually he picked it up there. I didn't see whether
Destiny's either of them available. They're jumping on Freeze.
He's going for the rat. This time he can see him, of course. That Destiny will work out. Stun card comes out. Wild card follows. Ooh, that's doing damage. Freeze cannot go too far up that lane anymore.
Peke made a prediction on where he thought Freeze was going to go. It looked like he was heading up towards the double golems. Freeze did not, and that actually saved his life. I want to point out, firstly, that Peke finished off his death cap and twin shadows in his last back. In addition, Pushu may have accidentally double-clicked because he's sitting on 2 pickaxes. That boy wants to be a miner.
Well, he's not going to be a mimer, at least, that's for sure. It is going to be Fnatic pushing the bottom lane, and they have full control. They have minions, they have the conga line, and then they are just putting damage on this. NiP thinking of actually trying to defend that one. I'm not too sure they have it in them right now. They're 13-3 behind in kills. They're nearly 9,000 gold in behind And it's just overall all going Fnatic's way.
If NiP don't land a charm onto a crucial target like Cyanide, Pushu, or Peke, unfortunately they do not have the damage right now to actually win a team fight. The Blade of the Ruined King and Zeal is good for freeze, but it's just not enough to shred through absolutely everybody. Soaz chilling out in the lane, gets caught by the red buff, and he manages to slingshot away from the knockup. But I would dare say he's actually taunting members of NiP.
Yes, he is. You can see him doing the dance. That's exactly what he's doing. He's getting a taunt going. Elastic Slingshot and Let's Bounce is available. He steps off to the side. He's ready to go.
Peck is miles away in the top lane.
Oh, Yellowstar gets engaged upon. This is a little too deep, though. Maluno is just all out on his own there. Goes sliding in, uses that Cataclysm. The rest of the team were not on his page. They do get the turret down, but NiP have to back off. A kill for a turret, not bad overall.
The Stranglethorns was decent enough to try and control the lane, but unfortunately it didn't set them up for any more kills. And thanks to Pekka being alone in the top lane and knowing that his opponents are super low on HP, he's stealing the blue buff away as the rest of Fnatic try to control and contain ninjas.
They try and get in there, and they do get Elzyra. That's a plant killed. They can try and keep chasing on towards Freeze. While this is all happening, we got the Peke camp surely in action in that top lane. Oh, Charm on Cyno tries to get away. Of course you can't kill Lee Sin, just safeguards away. Top turret in the inner lane is going to go down. Soaz doing work, continuing, takes the Dark Passage and slides away. They've got nothing right now on Fnatic. They can't get the kills.
Yeah, and Pekka's just been left unattended in this top lane. He's got a lot of damage down. Destiny's being channeled. He's looking for an opportunity. He may just use that one to get a safe exit out of the lane.
Well, he's going to go to Baron.
A quick flick. Last time I remember someone going to that side of the map was Froggen, just panic clicking his Destiny. How did I end up here? A little bit of a misclick, but nevertheless, good escape by Peke. 25 minutes on the clock, 250 CS under his belt. He's basically at full build with a Twisted Fate, and anything in addition to this is just a bonus. And we know how good Peke is in TF. Even after the changes, after the balances to him, he's still decimating people.
Blue buff, that's going to be gear picked up. It's Pushu this time that's going to take it because, well, Peke had already just picked up the blue buff from the NiP jungler, so why not allow him to have it? What can Ninjas in Pajamas do about this one? Honestly, right now, is it a case of start discussing what the next match will be? It's going to be up against either Evil Geniuses or Gambit. Do they start discussing tactics right now? Because this game is close to over.
I hate to say yes, but I do feel that if Fnatic whiff their sieges, that is the only way for NiP to get back in this. Fnatic have to basically miscalculate their tower dives and make mistakes trying to get inhibitors. And if they don't make mistakes, NiP are just too far behind. It's 11,000 gold, and they can just be popped. Look for Bjergsen to land a good charm, but even when he does, there's just not enough damage to kill people. His Mind is hooked.
Well, he got hooked, and there was barely anything that went towards him yet. It took him down to half health, because he's actually not got any defense right now. This is what he did in the last game.
Yeah, he's only got a Warden's Mail and a Kindle Gem to work with, and it's just not enough. He's sticking around in lane, and part of the reason that blue buff from Varus is so important is the long-range poke. Slingshot's being charged. Soaz is thinking about a dive. If NiP stick around, Soaz was definitely going to pull that trigger and lob himself at the Ninjas.
Yeah, Ninjas have to back away from this one. We can see that Bjergsen's gone back to base. They might take the advantage here and go for the inhibitor turret. Look at that. Every time those cards land from Peke, from Pushu, they're doing work. They're going to take it down. Soaz goes in. Let's Bounce comes on. Mima gets caught up. Chain of Corruption doing the job. Stranglethorn's having a good defensive work and trying to bounce him back in the air, but Mima will get taken down. It's Pushu with a double kill so far. Bjergsen gets caught out. The wildcards flinging past him. Lands the charm on towards Yellowstar. The orbs not doing the damage they require. Destiny comes out. He's gone in towards the back tower. Can we look at Peke? No, doesn't matter. He's already got the kill, and that was Bjergsen that he went diving for in the back.
They secured the inhibitor as well as the tower and 3 kills, and even though their team did go very, very low, Fnatic did not make a mistake. They've now turned their attention to the bottom lane, and they're going to secure their 8th tower of the game. This potentially is game. However, they are very, very low. I think Fnatic may back away, pick up Baron, and then look to finish the game.
Yeah, and why not? They've taken themselves 3 kills and 2 inhibitors in a push without the Baron buff. Do they even need that Baron buff? That's the question. They're 14, well, scrap that, 15,000 ahead in gold. 35 to 50k, just shy of 30 minutes. It's a big, big advantage.
Do they need it? No. Should they go for it? Yes, because they can set up a lot of vision. Mima even flashed. This has to be a surrender.
Yeah, to surrender. You can see the headsets coming off. That is going to be Fnatic taking game 1 in the tiebreaker series. They're going to be going through to the winner bracket, so they essentially have themselves one step closer to second place. First win from Ninjas in Pajamas. Not going to work out for them. They're into the loser bracket. It's going to be Evil Geniuses versus Gambit up next. Who will they be facing?
Fnatic right now really look like the team that we'd come to know and love throughout the spring and the summer split. They were able to answer every single question NiP threw at them. They converted every single advantage they had to objectives, and they didn't really make any mistakes at all in that particular matchup. So congratulations to them, and Peke on Twisted Fate, 6, 2, and 10. 4,000 gold ahead of anyone else in his team, and 6,000 gold ahead of the closest member of NiP.
But I think one he's mentioning is Soaz, 209. He's not had a good weekend and not had a good Super Week. He's ill. Like myself, and like yourself, actually.
Thank you for that
I've infected Trevor, it seems. But he's not had a great weekend, but nevertheless, he had a great game there.
To be very fair, he was also playing against Mima, who has not been performing well this weekend. And having a slightly easier lane setup, having a slightly easier lane opponent, especially in a lane matchup that is boring. Yorick versus Zac, that is a farm fest. That is a snooze fest. It allows him to build himself up to a powerful position and then, in fact, impact the game. But you can't discount it. 209, his dive in the 4v5 in mid lane was perfect. He was always hiding just out of sight. Just waiting, saying, can I go, can I go? He wanted to slingshot in for those fights.
And for sure, Fnatic then going to want to face Gambit. There's 4-0 over Gambit this summer split. Not against EG, though. They're 3-1 down. They won't want to face them.
Fnatic just beat Gambit not 3, 4, 5... however many games ago. They've done it already in technically the last game of the regular season. So, and that was a hell of a game.
Well, that's why we're in this position in the first place, because this wouldn't have even happened. We just had one game done and dusted. Doesn't matter. That's not what happened. We have 4 more games to go, but more importantly, we got Joe and Jason waiting to break down this match.
Thanks a lot, guys. And another pretty one-sided affair there. Fnatic coming out incredibly strong in the first game.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they knew NiP's weak points. Just camp Bjergsen, get some kills on him, then they go straight for Mimer. I mean, he's not out farming Soaz anyways, but you get some free kills, get Peke going. You get that a potential for Peke to start backdoing from that top side, and they just completely shut him down. I mean, that's the story. Bjergsen didn't get his Zed, didn't get Fizz, and his Ahri just got completely destroyed by Cyanide Lee Sin, who, you know, I think both of us actually agree that hasn't been that fantastic, but this game, it really was.
Yeah, really stepped that one up there as well. And, you know, that means now that, you know, NiP aren't out of anything. That sounds strange to us. It's just a tiebreaker. It's not no knockout here. But they're going to go down now into the losers game, where they still have a chance of kind of coming back up there and finishing then in the 4th position. So
yeah,
it's all a little bit complicated. But they're going to drop down to the loser match. They'll play the loser of the next game as Evil Geniuses take on Gambit.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see. NiP, I mean, they surrendered that game. I think that's the first time they've ever surrendered a game in both splits of LCS. I mean, they kind of knew it was over at that point, but are they going to take this time to, you know, all right, what went wrong, guys? Let's fix it. Let's get into this next game against the losers versus, you know, EG and Gambit and kind of come out big there. I mean, we always could see that, and it's up to them.
So, I mean, obviously Fnatic move on. Quite the contrary to what we saw at the start of the weekend for them. The last 2 games that they've played, they've looked like Fnatic.
They've won every game today.
That's true.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're actually playing extremely well. I don't know where it came from. I mean, it was kind of just like SK going from week, well, 8 to 9. They just looked amazing. Fnatic kind of went the opposite route, but then they've been able to finally get everything going. It might have been the pressure that finally made them start to play better, like realizing, guys, you know, we're almost out. We could potentially not be at playoffs. We could potentially not even be in the LCS anymore to requalify, and that might have got them going.
Well, thanks a lot, Jason. We're going to head over to Shox, who sat down for an interview with Maluno.
Thanks very much, guys. Yeah, Maluno, not the best game for you guys, and you've beaten Fnatic already yesterday, but it seemed like this was a totally different team you were up against.
Yeah, they played a bit better, but I think most of the game was just decided in the first 2v2 we had in mid lane, where they got 2 kills and we didn't get any, so then it's really hard to come back because TF is going to get so much more pressure.
Yeah, tell me some more about that. Letting XPK have TF is always a risk, and then when it doesn't go well in the beginning,
Well, Ari is a decent pick to shut it down, and with Jarvan, you can gank him pretty easily, but they predicted that I was going to come mid, and he's counter-ganked really well. Like, we saw Lee Sin at the rates, but decided to give it a try anyway. We were hoping we could, like, combo down Pekka, like, with my CC, and then the Charm follow-up, and just kill him before he could do anything. But that didn't really work out, and we died, so.
Yes, you did. It was actually a pretty tough loss here. Does it have to do with the extreme conditions here, not having that much time to prepare? How did you do it? How did you get back into that mindset of, okay, we have to play more and we have to be focused?
I think everyone on the team was just really excited right away. Like, we were just like, okay, we get to play more, and it was all good. So mindset was fine, and I think just so much of the game was decided by the mid thing, because our bot lane were winning really hard. And if your AD carry is really strong when you have Yorick, then you're going to be really good late game. So, yeah, mostly it's the mid fight going terribly wrong.
Yeah, but you still have games to set this straight. Next game going to be up is going to be EG versus Fnatic. Who you think you'll be up against? So basically, who you think might lose that matchup? Although it's...
Both teams have been playing really well this week, so I'm not sure. Like, I have no clue who's going to win. It's 50-50 in my eyes, and I don't really prefer playing either team either. They seem really strong, both of them.
Okay, thank you very much, and good luck in your upcoming match here tonight. All right, we're going into a short break, but of course, more League of Legends. When we come back, we're going to see